There we go. Okay, now we should be up live. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shemel Sharakatham, Yahweh Shemal Tha Shemel Shah. Okay, we live now. Sound should be up now. Apologize, a little technical difficulty there. Sound should be up. Broadcast should be up. Sound should be up. We should be good and live now. Y'all let me know y'all can hear me. Y'all type in, okay? All right, y'all can hear me now. Okay, Most High in Christ. Looks like the sound is good now. Sound is good. Sound is good. Y'all should be able to hear me, Most High in Christ. All right, good. Tawab, okay. And the focus there. YouTube, let me know y'all can hear me. All right, Most High in Christ. I'm looking good. Okay, Shalom, sis. Y'all Shemala Thashim Rashah, okay? Looking good. Come. Much is going on. We're getting into the Wednesday night law class. There's much going on tonight. Those of y'all to know, World War III is afoot. You know, World War III is almost in full effect. The Russians is ready. All the biblical prophecies, Commander GEN.YAHANNA has been prophesying for decades, many years, telling brothers and sisters, get prepared for this World War III that's coming. You got your gas shortages coming. I know y'all seen y'all at the pumps, y'all anywhere. Gas is running out, or the white man manufacturing a gas crisis, trying to drive and rise up the prices, even though America is absolutely filled to capacity with oil, and they've been robbing and stealing oil from the Arabs for about 20 plus years now, since 9/11, after killing off all of their leaders from Gaddafi to Saddam Hussein, to making everybody else step down who don't want to end up on the front page of a newspaper or getting beat to death and dragged through the streets by a lynch mob like they did Muammar Gaddafi. So there's much going on. As usual, the law class, y'all got questions, y'all get them ready. Y'all share these videos, thumb them up, like them. All right. Our protection. If you in the I.S.U.P.K, your protection is coming from obeying the Most High. Everybody thought it was a good idea to join the other nations, to have these rainbow coalitions, have these interracial marriages, have all of these other nations of people coming together. And now we are seeing completely that this was an absolute disaster. This was a mistake. God knew right from the very beginning. The laws in the Bible that everybody wanted to laugh at and call a joke and out of touch and old fashioned, you understand, come to find out that these was the wisest, the most accurate, and the safest records on the entire planet that the Lord laid down and gave to his servants, the prophets. You understand, since the days of Adam, since the days of Noah, since the days of Moses, since the days of Samuel and Joshua, these prophecies recorded here in this Bible are surely coming to pass. You understand? We're going to start at Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6. It's very important because it's a lot of things that's getting ready to happen, not only in America, but that's happening across the world, that most of the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that you come into contact with on a day-to-day basis, they will be completely oblivious as to what's going on. Most Black people, because of the Christian church, just finished celebrating this silly Mother's Day. And right along, lock and step with Mother's Day, a ton of brothers and sisters got shot. Sister killed her baby, killed a toddler, 3-year-old. This happens on a constant, regular basis. celebrating these holidays that the Lord forbid all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from partaking. However, what the Lord wants our people to understand in this time is that we need to be completely separate from America. And you hear that a lot. And I want to go into detail as to what exactly that means. That does not mean charter a plane and go and fly out to Ghana like Stevie Wonder did, denounce your American citizenship and fly over to somewhere in Africa, somewhere. Okay, Most High Christ, y'all can hear me. That's not what the Bible means. That's not what it means when it's saying take your spirit out of America. Meaning the things that America separates, the things, shalom, y'all signing for attendance, shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, the Lord wants us to have a completely separate mind frame and a completely separate spirit than what the rest of the world. And when I say the world, I mean the Christians, the Muslims, everyone who is not inside of the I.S.U.P.K is in the world. These I.S.U.P.K classes are designed to train your minds, the minds of the brothers and sisters that want to serve the Lord, that want to obey the Most High in Christ, that want to actively be a part of the body of Christ. These I.S.U.P.K classes are to teach you how to live and be in the truth. You understand? There are very few people, as you can see, in the state of Virginia. Everybody is crying because somebody's getting shot. Everybody's crying because of poverty, because of oppression, gas shortages, shootings, murders. Everybody is somewhere whining off to the sky, whoever they deem can help them. But almost no one out of the thousands and thousands of people under the sound of the voice of the prophets of the Lord get in these I.S.U.P.K classes to yield their will and their members so that they can learn how to be under the protection of God. We're going to get a couple of these scriptures very important. The first one, Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 4. All right. It says, but ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. There's a lot of death that's getting ready to come because our people have refused to obey the Most High. The Lord has been sending prophecies out for many, many generations. The Lord has rose up his prophets on the street and sent the I.S.U.P.K out since the 60s, warning our people for the times to come. And very largely, the vast majority, many brothers and sisters have woken up. Many brothers and sisters have come out of their darkness. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. They've come out of their darkness, waking up from their sleep, waking up from all of the lies that Christian preachers have taught us, all of the holidays that we've been raised to believe. It's a very important job to wake our brothers and sisters up for the priests and prophets of the Lord and the I.S.U.P.K. And it's very important for all you brothers and sisters to get in these classes, take your notes, ask your questions. You understand, brothers and sisters have questions, they need to come to class. They in Virginia, whatever city and state, we got classes in over 40 cities and states. In many states, we got classes in multiple cities. They need to be in these I.S.U.P.K classes. World War III is coming, which is in the Bible we're going to get. Civil War is coming, which is in the Bible we're going to get. The war with Russia is coming. The war with China is coming. The war between all of these brothers and sisters that think that because some Chinese man or woman scrubs the crust off of their toes and puts wings and fries in a bag every time you want some food, that makes you think that now you're all the same and everybody's on the same team and we should have a rainbow coalition. That's getting ready to cause a lot of blacks and Hispanics their lives in just a minute. It's getting ready to cause a lot of lives because the mindset that the Lord wants us to have is to think spiritually. And spiritually, our people do not understand the climate that the world is in right now. The Lord sent this coronavirus, one, to teach our people that we need to be separate and self-sufficient from every other nation on the planet. This is, in fact, a virus that was started because of the Chinese. Now, of course, we know the Most High sends sicknesses. He sends the death angel through. He kills and he makes alive. But because America is this melting pot, this place where all nations of people come together, that God has been absolutely against. You understand? God has been absolutely against all races, all nations of people coming together since the very beginning of the Bible. Since the very beginning, since the book of Genesis, the Lord flooded the earth and killed everyone but 8 people because Adam's sons, rich, successful blacks and Hispanics, got rich and then went and had sex with white girls like Terrence Howard and John Legend and O.J. Simpson and Kanye West and Tiger Woods. God killed everybody on the earth except for 8 people because of interracial marriages. That's from the very beginning. By the 6th chapter, everyone was dead but 8 people. Our people never learned this lesson because the Christian church refuses to teach what's actually in the Bible. And at this point, if you are still going to church, you are willfully sitting in darkness right now. Like the Christian preachers lie every year and say, this is going to be a blessed year. God laid on my heart how blessed the year is going to be. Everybody going to be prosperity. Just claim it in the name of Jesus. They said that at the beginning of every year. And 2020 has been the worst year on American record probably since the Great Depression. More people died, businesses went under, cities folded, jobs were lost, companies were gone forever. Worldwide, the pandemic, an Old Testament biblical plague broke out because these lying Christian preachers that everyone swears is a man of God, that they would much rather listen to, that will allow them to eat pork and be lesbians and homosexuals and celebrate Mother's Day while they pretend that mommy didn't cover up for every boyfriend that ever touched and molested everybody at the goddamn Thanksgiving dinner table. They would much rather have that than to obey command in GEN.YAHANNA and live and not die and finally serve Christ the proper way so that we don't have to keep enduring these horrors one after another every single generation that we are here in this place. But for you brothers and sisters that are in the I.S.U.P.K, the Lord has awakened you. You understand? You didn't choose the I.S.U.P.K. Don't put that in your spirit. The Lord called you out of your darkness to come in here, to sit in this fold amongst the chosen that he selected, to wake you brothers and sisters up so that we can change our lives and build the society that Christ died for. You understand? We're going to get into some important things in here. Keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments is what is going to keep us alive. Your children need to be taught God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Our sons and daughters need to be taught God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, our people need to be taught that these are things we can no longer do. It may be difficult to make the correlation, but the sin that our people commit is what puts us in danger. The brothers and sisters you see getting killed at traffic stops, getting gunned down in North Carolina, getting stopped by Spotsylvania police and Williamsburg police officers, these brothers and sisters, Shalom says, these brothers and sisters that we see, these horrible things are happening to, they even snatching old ladies out of cars, breaking grandma's jaws, breaking grandma's arms, pepper spraying. They have a blood lust for the very soul that is inside of you if you are Black, Hispanic, and Native American. This isn't something that happened because of Trump. This isn't something that you can vote away. This isn't something that you can cry away. This isn't something that came with Obama. America has always hated Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. America was built on enslaving us, selling us, murdering us, lynching us. Once we got out of slavery and got some sort of halfway decent, humane treatment and build up our own towns and cities, then the poor whites came and burned our cities to the ground. There's a book called 100 Years of Lynching, because all of the evil Christians want to blame poor Black people for not being able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. What they don't tell you in history, while they're busy kissing Martin Luther King's behind and worshiping these idiot civil rights leaders, that is the cause for all of the shootings and murders that Black people do to each other while pretending to be white Italian gangsters. Now that Martin Luther King told us to love the sons of former slave owners, these things only came with integration. They spent 100 years. It's a textbook in the I.S.U.P.K. You can look it up online, on Amazon, whatever you get your books, called 100 Years of Lynching. Our full book listing is on ISUPK.com. All our textbook listed there. For 100 years, poor white people, not just in the South, throughout the Midwest, Lincoln, Nebraska, all throughout Tennessee, Louisiana, through Texas, through Kansas, all throughout your Floridas, your Carolinas, poor white people went and burned down, lynched, and murdered rich, prominent business members, their families, their homes, their businesses, their wives, their children. That is who was being lynched. The uppity, educated, boozy, upper-crusted Negroes. That's who they were killing. So when they tell black people, you got to go and get an education, you got to go to school, you got to get better jobs, you got to just keep hope alive, that is not the solution. All of those civil rights marches, the police was sicking water hoses and German shepherds on college students in their church outfits, in their slacks, getting their heads busted open, getting dogs sicked on them, getting their ribs broke, getting shot and lynched and thrown in jail. Begging more, getting more degrees, getting more money, getting better jobs, joining the military, joining the police. None of that is the solution to the problems that we have as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The solution to our problems is we have to build our own society that is solely based on keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? That is the only solution to the problems that we have. The only way that Black people are going to be able to sustain towns and cities is if you have leaders that are in charge that are not whores dedicated to America. Kenny Alexander is a whore that works in Norfolk that is dedicated to America. Keisha Lance Bottoms in Atlanta is a whore dedicated that works for American politics. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton are whores that work for American politics. Your senators, your representatives, your police chiefs, your commissioners, there's a nigger mayor over every city. You had Mayor Nutter, the mayor of Philly, Mayor Nagin down in New Orleans, the mayor in Baltimore. Every mayor in D.C. has been Black since I've been a baby. All of the leaders in Norfolk, you got Black police chief, Black commissioners. You cannot change the system from the inside. The system functions exactly the way it was made to function. It's designed to prey on your people. It's designed to destroy our families. It's designed under the guise of giving women rights to separate only Black and Hispanic and Native American women from their men. If you notice, the women's rights movement is not separating Chinese women from Chinese men. It's not separating the African woman from the African man. It is not separating the Arab woman from the Arab man. It's not designed to separate the white woman from France and Russia and Britain and China with all of their human trafficking issues and problems they have. The only thing and the only families that are being destroyed with all of these quote unquote rights movements and feminist movements is the Black, Hispanic, and Native American family. That is because you are the prized trophy. You are the game that every species, every race of people on the planet hunts our people. That's how they know where to set up a business in the ghetto. That's how they know where to put a gas station so that they can gouge the prices, because your leaders are politicians instead of men of God, that they won't say anything as long as they get a check. That's why they're allowing the prices to shoot up for the gas when there's no gas shortage in America, because your leaders are whores that are loyal to the whorehouse and not the actual people that they claim they represent. You understand? So let's get some on this. Deuteronomy 4:4, but you did cleave unto the Lord your God, are alive every one of you this day. Behold, I taught you statutes and judgments, even as my Lord, even as the Lord my God commanded me. Meaning the God of this Bible is the God of our people. The Chinese have their own gods. Now, their gods are not real. The East Indians have their own gods. which they just realized after burning thousands of their dead coronavirus victim family members in town squares, that the statues that they pray to, that those elephants and those pictures and the weed that they smoke and all of the dreadlocks that they grow, that the idols that they serve cannot save them from the one true living God that kills and makes alive, which is the God of the Bible. You understand? Our people must divorce ourselves from all of these other nations of people and their culture. And how do we do that? It's right here in the scriptures. It says that these laws, statutes, and commandments, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. When we turn back to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, we will actually be able to own and possess a city. We keep losing cities like Baltimore and Philly and Norfolk and Richmond and Hampton and Newport News because we're breaking God's laws. One of these laws God gave us, we're going to go to, is Deuteronomy 7:6, which is going to be a huge law to keep you and your family safe, understanding this. The law says that we keep the city, neither make thou marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Meaning, the Lord forbid us from having interracial marriages. If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, God has laws that forbid you from sticking your penis into another woman that is not of your race. If you are a woman, you are forbidden from having sex, letting a man from another race of people have sex with you. You belong to the Lord. That is what has destroyed our people. You understand? Every other race of people, every other species is thinking about the dominance and the welfare for the future generations of their species. The roaches are concerned with the future generation of roaches. Mice are concerned with the future generation of mice. If the mice start to breed with rats because they look alike, because they have fur, because they both like to eat the same things, then that will weaken the rats and that will weaken the mice. They understand that. If the sharks start to breed with the goddamn whales, that will weaken the fellow sharks. The whales understand this. If the little brown birds start to join the pigeons, then that will weaken the little brown birds and the pigeons will take over. These are very basic lessons about life, that if you are Black or Hispanic, you are not allowed to believe or think this way, because this is how free people think. This is how people who are not slaves of people, who don't deal in the cultures of the other nations of people, this is how free people think. And when you come into I'm going to come to your question in just a second, sis, just type it up there. When you come into the I.S.U.P.K, you are for the first time learning lessons spiritually on how to be a free man or a free woman. That does not mean there are no rules for you to follow. Freedom does not come without rules. You understand? That freedom and love, unconditional love and no strings attached, no such thing in life as no strings attached. Those are silly, childish concepts that our oppressor placates to Black people so that we can behave like children and he can stay in power forever, ruling over us, because we believe we don't have to follow any rules, listening to these idiotic preachers while we die of everything. Sis, go ahead and type your question in there. I'm going to get to it once you put it up there. All right. The Lord said that we should not join another nation of people. Contrary to what we've been told, the movement that taught Black people it was acceptable to be a murderer, which is why we have all of these shootings, that comes from white people. It was never acceptable during the 50s and the 60s for you to be a murderer in the Black community. It was not acceptable for you to be a woman having sex with multiple men. You were looked at as an outcast, as something evil, as the bottom scourges of society. You were not accepted. You were not beloved. It did not happen until the white woman's CIA government-funded feminist movement that they used black women so that they can open up all of their political agendas in America so that they now can pass legislation to push their agenda for America. It was for no benefit to us whatsoever. You lost your husband, your children is running the streets, your kids is shooting each other, your daughter is killing your grandbabies. How the hell are you going to be a grandmother if your daughter's 16, 17, 18, 19, racking up a body count like she in goddamn Iraq, killing off your grandkids? That's what came with this feminist movement. It used to be a sister would meet her husband at 15, 16, 17 years old, and those two, that brother and sister, would be together probably for the next 50, 60 years of their life. Now you done got the feminist movement, thanks to Margaret Sanger and these Christian preachers that came with that woman thou art loose. You don't have to be tied to your man anymore, which no female anywhere on the planet is separate from the male of her species, the way that these Christian preachers have taught our sisters to be separate and divided from the black man and Hispanic man here in America. That is a curse, which is why the Lord told us never to join another nation of people, never to make a friendship or a covenant with them, never to join them, never to join their cultures, man. This has to be undone. All right, so let's see. All right, hypothetically, you're in the truth. All right, I'm coming to sister question. Hypothetically, if you're in the truth and you are married to a heathen or someone outside of us, what will happen when the Most High comes with you being the U.P.K? Okay, so if you, because you connected, correct. There is no such thing as a divorce. That's a good question to sister A. There's no such thing as a divorce. You come into the truth, you married to a heathen, you stuck with them. You got a heathen. You married to a heathen. There is no divorce. You cannot leave your spouse now that you found out that you're not supposed to be with another nation of people. The Lord considers marriage forever, and he hateth the putting away. Now, you understand, what can happen, and which does happen in many cases, is in many cases, if you are married to a heathen, they get tired. They may not, more than likely, they're not going to like the truth. As a matter of fact, it's a scripture. Let me see, I'm going to pull that for you. What they may end up doing, the heathen may leave because, of course, the God of the Bible does not love them. It's not for them. The culture of the Bible is not for them. But they still may very well love their spouse and be pleased to stay together. That's perfectly fine. That is not unlawful. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Remember, Moses was married to a heathen woman, and he was not in the truth. And Moses married that Midianite woman, a Midianite, some form of an Arab, before he came into the truth, before the Lord gave him the knowledge of the truth. He married a heathen woman. Miriam and Aaron took up issue with this. The Lord turned Miriam white to punish her and let her know that if his servant did something wrong, he'd deal with it directly. And it ain't none of your goddamn business how he deal with Moses based on what he did when he was in the world. The Lord checked Moses and Aaron, checked Miriam and Aaron about that. And that was the end of that. A sin or something that you commit before you come into the truth, there's some decisions that you make that cannot be undone. And who you choose to have sex with is probably one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your entire life. You understand? Yeah, that's right. Moses had the Midianite woman. There was a Midianite woman he was married to when he was in Egypt. He had a heathen woman. She was not an Israelite. And Moses, and as a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. See if we pull that real quick. Because they came up against Moses for that. People had to learn, you understand, that there's no equality in the Bible. You understand? There's no equality in the Bible. And just because that you may feel a certain way based on what's going on, that does not just give you the right to just open your mouth and speak whatever the hell you want. A lot of us got killed in the wilderness, opening their mouth, speaking against Moses, just sitting and murmuring, and pissed the angel off, and the angel would kill thousands of brothers and sisters at a time. You understand? Learning to watch your mouth is something that's extremely important coming into the truth, because words are spirit and they are life. You understand? What if you're in the truth and they do it anyway? Right. Now, if you already in the truth, now you in the truth, of course, you in the I.S.U.P.K, we have rules and things that are set up and that are in place. You understand? You come into the I.S.U.P.K, we have very strict rules on courtship for brothers and sisters that's in the school. I don't know why, if you coming into the truth, you would want to dare deal with someone that's in the world who's still going to eat pork and have crib, shrimp, and crab and birthday and Mother's Day and Father's Day. I don't know why on earth you would do that if you come into the I.S.U.P.K in the truth. But if you so happen, these rules that we have that govern this house and this family, a stranger who is not a part of this family, some brother or sister in the world, they will not adhere to these rules. They've not given over their members and pledged loyalty to obey the rules of this family, which is so very instrumental in having a family that in the world, we do not have rules. That's why families are so destroyed in the Black and Hispanic community. But we got rules on courtship. Find out who you are dealing with is very important. You can't go by face value or skin color or where somebody says they're from. Extensive information and research, which is done in order for you to get in the I.S.U.P.K. That's why we're talking about this place of safety and the sanctuary the Lord set up where things are in order. You meet somebody on the street, they don't know who the hell they are, where their dad is from, where their mom was. My mom said my dad was from here, and I'm not sure. And well, what does it matter? Because everybody's really black on the inside, and we all mix and all kind of silly Christian nonsense. If your life is about nothing but flowers and holidays and songs and silliness, I would not tie myself to somebody in the world if it is avoidable. I'd come in here and learn, you understand, what the Lord wants on how to build a family, because that's a very serious decision you cannot undo, brother or sister. You cannot undo that decision. Something like that, you would call, get counsel. We got counselors, we got camp leaders in cities and states. There's something very important that's also important coming into the truth. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, social media is not the truth. We broadcast and hold our classes and things live broadcast correct. There's a camp leader for cities and states across the country and the planet. If you are in these I.S.U.P.K classes, you need to be in contact with your camp leader. Something happened in your city, you need counseling, something going on, your house is on fire, you're being harassed, you need to speak to your camp leader. Do not ask Facebook for help. Do not ask Twitter for help. That's what Christians do, because nobody cares what happens to them. Nobody cares if they get robbed. Nobody cares if they go homeless. Nobody cares if they get molested. Nobody cares if they're sleeping in a goddamn shelter because they're Christians. Everyone has personal salvation. Everyone does whatever the hell they want. In the I.S.U.P.K, we are not Christians. We have order. We have people in charge. There are numbers to call. There are proper channels to go through for good reason. You understand? We're not just winging it out here. It's a full-fledged government and a body that Commander GEN.YAHANNA set up with the authority and instruction of the Lord under Christ. Contact your school, your camp leader, get what you need. Be in communication, scripture, and ye do well to communicate. With such sacrifices, the Lord is well pleased. You got to communicate. The Lord is getting ready to destroy America. Gas stations getting empty, world war, race war, civil war. It's going down. Get in communication. Get in the school. Lock all the way in. Get in these classes. Get your Hebrew names. Don't sit on the sidelines watching videos 10, 15 years. America may not have another 10, 15 years. The Lord get ready to wrap this place up. The Lord sent one more coronavirus through. That's it. America barely recovering from this one, and it's still not over. You throw on some wars and some gas shortages and a couple of missed food truck deliveries at the grocery store, they're going to be burning stuff in the streets. Get all the way in these classes now. We've been telling people for a long time. Virginia been playing games for a long time. Y'all come in here where it's safe, all right? All right. Let me know if that answers your question, then, sis. If not, we get some more. All right. So, yeah. But long story short, Moses took a wife of the Midianites. Of course, that was a lot of problems down the road. His father-in-law was Jethro. You can read that in Exodus chapter 18 and verse 1. Of course, we ended up having war with the Midianites later on down the road because they're another nation of people. They ended up having us in slavery. If you know about the prophet Gideon, there was a war. We had to rise up and fight up against the Midianites. They were starving us to death, just like any heathen would do if they had an opportunity to put us in slavery. This treatment we are getting from the white man in America is not unique to the white man. We got the same treatment from the Egyptians. We got the same treatment from the Arabs. The Chinese had us in slavery about 40 years. The Japanese had us about 70 years. The various South Africans, the different Africans had us in slavery. We've been in captivity under the East Indians. Everyone has oppressed and exploited our people every time they've had us in captivity. This is not something unique to America. It's not unique to the white man. What is unique is the level of cruelty that they had by wiping our identity out and then stealing it for themselves, which is what the Jewish man did, which you see in Revelations 3:9 and 2:9. That is what they have uniquely done to us. Shalom, sir. Shiv Shah Brakatham. Shiv Shah Brakatham. All right. So now we're going to get this, how to secure our cities and our families. All right. There's things that's going on, little small things that put our people in jeopardy that we don't realize. And these holidays are a very big one. There's a very big source of contention with them, because what General Muhammad explained is that when we celebrate these holidays, which is the natural course of America, your Mother's Day, your Father's Day, your 4th of July, tons of holidays and things coming up. These holidays are things that are one against the Most High. And when sinners celebrate things that God forbids, the Lord gives demons permission to go and kill sinners. That's why you see brothers getting killed at traffic stops. That's why you see us getting gunned down in the streets. There's so many rules that the Lord has set up that we are oblivious to, that literally can be life or death on the spot. That because we've been trained Christian, thinking that we are free to do whatever decisions we like, we never realize just how much the decisions that we are taught to make will get us killed. You understand? So let's get 1 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 84. All right. 1 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 84. It says, it's in the Apocrypha. For those of you who do not know what the Apocrypha is, the Apocrypha is about 15 or so books that the Roman Catholic Church removed from the Bible. The King James 1611. For those of you who do not know, King James was not a white man. He was a black man that ruled England and Scotland. He had a lot of issues with the Roman Catholic Church. He is responsible for hiring teams of scholars. He did not write the Bible. He did not translate the Bible. He hired teams of scholars to translate the Bible from the original Hebrew and the original Greek text that the Old and New Testament was written in, so that the Roman Catholic Church could not maintain this monopoly over power and interpretation over what's written in the Bible, because it was in Latin, such a very difficult and uncommon language for the masses. The Roman Catholic Church tried to assassinate King James many times. You understand? He was not a homosexual. He had many children. He was very stringent on effeminate and homosexuality in his kingdom. All of that is a lie that they tell about King James. None of that is true. You understand? He hired teams of scholars to translate the Bible. After 1611, the Roman Catholic Church removed books from the Bible which are now known as the Apocrypha, which talks about how the 10.5 tribes, so-called Hispanics and Native Americans, left the Middle East to come over here to America, which is who Christopher Columbus was looking for. They understand all of that's contained in the Bible. It talks about how the Greeks, after the death of Alexander the Great, took over and set up his generals to rule from India, took over Egypt with Mark Antony and Cleopatra, how the Greeks took over our temple, how we ended up being called Greeks or Hellenists in the New Testament. You see, to the Jew first and then the Greek. Those were not the only two races or nationalities of people all throughout the Middle East and Asia Minor. Those were the two categorizations that were closely related to our people, because we were forced to take Greek cultures or be killed, murdered, and lynched by the white Romans, who were the Greeks who became the Romans, who took over our temple during the wars of the Maccabees, which we remember during, during Hanukkah every year. So all of those things are contained in the book called the Apocrypha. That's what we're reading from. It's First Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 84. It says, "Therefore, now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons, neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them." And this is a very important thing, because Black people have gone out of our way completely to seek to have peace with our oppressors. We've changed our voices. Brothers and sisters have gotten rich and bleached their skin, chopped up our noses, turned on our people, all kind of surgeries and butt implants, trying to make white people more comfortable and talking with what's called your business voice, all kind of things, and demonizing our fellow people. You understand? Hispanics turning on illegal Hispanics, which is the most disgusting thing ever, siding with our oppressor against your own brother, calling him an illegal, and joining the racist white man's immigration customs enforcement to oppress your own fellow brothers and sisters down on the border. That's disgusting. And it's the fault of the Christian church that teaches us that we are supposed to love our oppressors, when that is absolutely against God. That's why the Lord is saying, never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong. By us seeking to have peace with America, we taught our sons and daughters something the Lord never wanted us to do, which was to compromise our integrity in keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Seeking to have peace with America, sisters compromise being wives and mothers so that they can go and join America. Brothers compromise being fathers. Brothers compromise being the strong man from the neighborhood so that we can now go and be the pimp, or to be a drug dealer, or to run the streets. Like, by the civil rights leaders teaching us to love America and salute the flag and change the system from within and enlist into their military and join into their political parties, their Democrats and Republicans. Damn right, separation, not integration. That's right. By teaching us to do that, we compromise the very ethics about how we were as a people. Right around, you see the 60s to 70s, you would see bushes, you would see afros. Slowly but surely, you stop seeing Black people wearing their natural hair. Then you stop seeing those bushes. You stop seeing those afros. You stop seeing those picks. You stop seeing those curls. Then sisters started to straighten their hair. Then you started to see brothers shaving and getting rid of that bush and cutting lines all in your hair, which is an Egyptian custom, which comes from ancient Egypt. Then you see brothers start to shave their beard off. They're not soul brother no more. They coming back from the military. They coming back from the war. It ain't brother man no more. We ain't brothers no more. I'm getting mine, you getting yours. Then you got dope being introduced into the community. The white man got a quick way for you to come up by selling drugs to your own people. We joined the military, and they got everyone addicted to heroin during that Vietnam War. And then while simultaneously doing that, Reverend Al Sharpton, with his FBI career, flooded heroin and cocaine into the black community for the next 20, 30, 40 years since that war, so that he can advance his FBI career, and destroyed the black community, while systematically integrating us following Martin Luther King. This is why the Lord is saying, never seek to have peace with them. We should have stayed in our black restaurants, in our black businesses, in our black areas, and slowly but surely, we kept coming up. We kept coming up. We built black universities coming out of slavery 100 years. Hampton University, Norfolk State University, Howard University, Lincoln, Brown, Cheney. You understand? We built centers of black economic excellence because we were separate from our oppressors. And we turned out lawyers, we turned out doctors, scientists, mathematicians. All of these advancements that made the modern world and society, they were invented by black people. This laptop that I'm on was invented by a black man. The IBM computer, the refrigerator, the pacemaker, the freezer, the ice box, the potato chips, everything. The color TV converter, the video game cartridge, the GPS, the supercomputers, all of these things, the analog telephone, the fiber optic cables, the phone with the buttons instead of the rotary phone, the caller ID. These things were invented by black people, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the automatic elevator door. Like, we created excellence for ourselves because we were not seeking peace with our oppressors. Had we stayed our own course and continued, we would have continued to build our society the same way that the Chinese, who are communists, build themselves a Chinese society here in America that is not based on voting. It isn't based on politics. It isn't based on stimulus. It isn't based on handouts. It isn't based on if you can get good grades in school. What grades do the Chinese people that do the nails in your neighborhood? What grades did they get in school? How many straight A students is in the nail salon scrubbing the crust off of your feet? I'll wait. What's the GPA of Mei Ling at the carryout selling wings and fries and damn spring rolls? What's her GPA? How many degrees does she hold? How many years in college did she do? How much in student loan debts does she have? How many dead-end jobs does she work? She getting thousands of dollars cash in a community that she is not a part of, unhindered, every week, on corner to corner in every black community across this country, not facing any sort of problem whatsoever. She not living a life the way that we live it, but they talk this equality and feminist nonsense when they want to get into black women's head to separate you from the black man, when what we need to do is reseal up our family unit altogether. That's what we learning in the I.S.U.P.K. Put things back in order. You understand? Your degree and your money and whatever you have, that doesn't mean you should be in charge of the family. The Christian church to run game on sisters and put an evil spirit in your mind to make sisters believe that they do not need the black man anymore. And that was a cancer that was put in us by preachers that they got from our oppressor, from a government movement, from Margaret Sanger, a known eugenicist that dealt with the Negro Project on how to destabilize and how to decrease the amount of Negroes in America. That's where you get your abortion from. You understand? This is why the Lord said, moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong. What else happened by us seeking to have peace with them? Now, in order for you to have peace with America, you got to accept homosexuality. You got to accept a man that want to now pretend to be a woman. It's in your movies. It's in your cartoons. I tried to watch some TV show. I wanted to watch this show. I made it 5 episodes. Some TV show called, what the hell? What Taziana? What the hell is the name of that show? What the hell is the name of that show we was just talking about? The something with the Lovecraft, something like that. Whatever. Anyway, whatever the hell it was supposed to be a show with black people going to get into with their family roots in the South somewhere. And it's supposed to be some monsters eating racist Klan members that was killing and lynching black people on the side of the road. Well, sure enough, after a couple of episodes, The sisters start having sex with the white boy. Next thing you know, there's a bunch of trannies in there. They got Omar from the Y in there, a bunch of goddamn cross dressers in there. My tolerance is over. Throw the whole goddamn show away. America is forcing you to accept homosexuality just to watch a goddamn TV show. You're going to have to go back to the 70s and the 80s and the 90s to watch some goddamn Rambo or some Dirty Harry if you don't want to have a goddamn man in a dress shoved in your face just to watch a damn TV show. You understand? You're going to have to go back to Jason and Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers just to watch, or the damn Terminator, just to not have a sodomite shoved in your face to watch a goddamn TV show. This is what the Lord said, that you never seek to have peace with your oppressor. Because while it seems like, well, what's so wrong with this? Why are you speaking evil? You know, people just, damn right, children's shows, cartoons. I watched some Teen Titans, man. It was shameful. I remember when I was younger, the Super Friends, the cartoons was a little more rougher than they are now. Everything real soft now. You understand? People got shot in the cartoons I watched. It was real fights. I seen the Super Friends. I saw Robin. They had Robin, young Robin with the Teen Titans. Robin sat and twerked for about 5 minutes straight. For no reason whatsoever, they had Robin twerking. I damn near threw the whole video, threw the whole damn thing away. For no reason, this male character, not the females, first of all, they're all little kids, but Robin is doing some booty butt twerk dance for 5 minutes for no apparent reason in a pair of tights. The Ninja Turtles didn't do that when I was growing up. Power Rangers didn't do that. Ninja Turtles didn't do that. Mega Man didn't do that. Rambo didn't do that. RoboCop wasn't doing that. Like, seeking to have peace with your oppressors is going to make you now have to accept that your rappers are gay. You understand? That he want to wear a dress and lipstick and he want to twerk in Satan's lap. You know, you just going to have to accept it now if you seeking to have peace with your oppressor. Or you can come in I.S.U.P.K and listen to Captain Akkad and Captain Ty Ward, you understand, and Captain Katazar, and you won't have to deal with none of that. But this is the friendship of the world that Christ told us never to do. Like, we're supposed to have an entirely separate society that would insulate us from these things. Now, mind you, this is the world that's going on around us. This is what's being pushed on your children, your 5, your 6, your 7-year-olds. Like, your sons, your daughters is now being shown that this feminine, singing, giggling, sissified thing is what a man is supposed to be. Like, this is what's being promoted to the earth, and it's only being promoted as a black man. Like, they promoting this nonsense on black men. That's why it's so very important that we get in this I.S.U.P.K and reset the standards for black masculinity. It's too much weak under your woman, weak under your mommy, scared of every goddamn body, scared of going to hell, scared of the church, scared of jail. Everybody just weak and soft and scared and hiding. As long as I get mine, and I always love my mama. It's like nobody got any goddamn strength anymore, man. Black man, come get in here and put your strength on. Put on some masculinity. The Lord does not love a coward. There will be no effeminate men in the kingdom of heaven. You're too weak. You're scared up under your woman. You're scared of your mommy. You will not make the kingdom of heaven be in that way. There's a homosexual man that will not make the kingdom of heaven. And there's an effeminate man who is not a homosexual. He's just weak and soft. He will not make it into the kingdom of heaven either. We're going to get that scripture, man. The Lord requires a man to be a man. There's one thing you understand. We're going to get some more on that. But this is what the Lord is saying. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them that ye may be strong. What does that mean? That means you go on your slavery, you got your job, they having a Christmas party, you don't celebrate Christmas. They doing birthdays and Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, Father's Day, you don't get a Mother's Day present. You don't get a Christmas present. We getting off. It's time and a half. We getting off. It's time to go home. All right, I'm going to go be with my family. We're going to go out for drinks for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to go out for drinks for Christmas. No, you don't even have to get into no big discussion with anybody. No, I don't do any of that. I'm off. It's a holiday. I'm going home to get some sleep. My feet hurt. I want to see my kids. I want to relax. I'm not coming. You understand? That's how you do that. The scriptures say, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Remember, you in the truth, wanting to love God and be sincere. These Christians in the world don't give a damn about you wanting to serve the Lord. It's life and death between eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, and they take it as a joke while constantly dying. Like, don't nobody respect the Lord because you want to love and serve the Lord. And you got to keep that in mind, especially as the Lord goes to destroy this place. These same Christians, these same people, you're going to find out that they hate the Lord. You understand? And that's going to put you in conflict with them. That's what Christ was saying in that 10th chapter. We're going to go right here in just a moment. All right? So it says, and eat the good things of the land, that ye may leave an inheritance of the land unto your children forevermore. The previous generations that worked to hold on to something in America, the very next generation out of integration sold everything that grandma and granddaddy worked for. You'd be hard pressed if I go through this chat and I ask how many of the brothers and sisters in here that you still have the land that your mother and father or their brothers and sisters did not sell, the land that great grandma or that grandma or granddaddy had that they paid for, you understand, from the 40s or 50s or 30s. Most of that land is gone. Most of those cities have been gentrified. Most of those houses have been sold. It is that same way in every city. Now, how is it that the very next generation of people sold and did away with everything that the previous generation did everywhere? You understand? Not being a part of the team. Well, what's the job? You come to work. You don't steal anything. You're there on time. You're there. I'm here to do a slavery. I'm here to pick cotton and cut sugar cane. You understand? I'm not here to give this. And this is another thing that's so evil. And they do this to sisters because I watched the army do this to my mother. They drain the soul. First and foremost, you are not supposed to have open access to everybody's women and children. Shalom, everybody just make sure you sign in for attendance. We get your attendance later. If you are a woman or a child, other nations of people are not supposed to have open-ended access to you. This is only because we are in slavery or captivity. If we were not in captivity, they would not get to see a Black, Hispanic, or Native American woman. The Chinese, the Arabs, the East Indians, the Africans. And guess what? If they didn't have businesses in your neighborhood, guess what you would never see? You would have never seen a Chinese woman before. Outside of opening a carry-out in the ghetto or in the hood somewhere, where have you seen a Chinese woman? Outside of a beauty supply store. I'm a manager at a meeting. It took everything. Just follow me just a second. Outside of a store, a shop, a business, or a restaurant that they have set up in your Black, Hispanic, or Native American community, where have you ever seen a Chinese woman before? They're not going to the back to school conference with your Black kids in the ghetto. Not even in private school. I've been to private school. I've been to public school. I've been to college, been to universities. You never see them anywhere. Where have you ever seen an East Indian woman outside of a Dunkin' Donuts or a shop, a gas station, or restaurant? Where have you seen her before? Maybe in the grocery store here and there, maybe at the grocery store. Where have you seen the Korean, the Filipino woman? You don't have open access to everybody else's children and women because they're not supposed to have access to your women and children. Women and children are a resource and an inheritance. They should not be freely for everyone to just go and be around you and fill your head up with thoughts and be able to interact with you and talk and deal with you. They're not supposed to have open-ended access to our women and children like this. We are in slavery. Your kids should not get to meet no Chinese, African, Arab, white man, white woman sitting in the classroom. That's not natural. It ain't natural for them. That's why they don't send their kids to school with you. We are in captivity. There's so much unnatural things that happens, like being raised by your grandparents. That's not natural. I didn't realize that wasn't normal to have to move every 1 to 2 or 3 or 4 years of your life until Gen.YAHANNA had to sit me down and tell me. He said, that's not normal. That's not life. You're not supposed to have to pack up and start your whole life over every 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to live somewhere, and that's where you always supposed to be. You're not supposed to have to keep packing up and moving like you in the goddamn military or the whole city that been destroyed and you in permanent refugee status all over the goddamn country. We are living as though we have been spoils of war. This is not a natural position that blacks and Hispanics live in. Life is not supposed to be like this. No other nation of people is supposed to have a business in your community. There's not supposed to be another nation of people living in your community, working in your community, businesses in your community, setting their religion in your community. That's why the Lord is saying in the scriptures, never seek to have peace with another nation of people. The only reason we got the Arabs and the Arabs pills and their dopes and their drugs in the black community is because black leaders like Elijah Muhammad allowed the Arabs' religion into the black community. We got the white man's crack and heroin, his gangster lifestyle, his sex in the city, his playboy, his hedonism, his woman thou art loose. That came with integration. That weed, that pills, that dreadlocks, that I don't need no man, that came with integration. That came with politics. None of those things was welcome in the black community. You couldn't come and go as you pleased. You couldn't do and say and act however you want, just free to set up shop. There were men in charge that would not allow that to happen. And that's what we rebuilding through the Spirit of the Lord and the I.S.U.P.K. It has to be done spiritually because for so many generations, we done turned on the Lord completely and then given up our whole soul to be a third-class citizen to the goddamn white man in America. You understand? We in here voting, losing cities, losing families. You understand? You in church? Everybody, for the life of me, I don't know why black people still going to church. The church shut down during the damn pandemic. The church then collected $500 billion from black people since the 80s. There's not one black community that's around in the 80s that was in good shape in the 80s that is still in good shape right now anywhere in a black community. Not Minnesota, not in Detroit, not in Memphis, not Atlanta, not Baltimore, not Philly, not DC, not Norfolk, not Richmond, Petersburg, Hampton, Chesapeake. Nowhere has any of this billions of dollars that black people have funneled into these goddamn churches done anything. It didn't stop weed, poverty, homelessness, asthma, cancer, AIDS, herpes, COVID. It did nothing for our people. Yet it's still mamas, aunts, and grandmas pile in these churches and make them rich to this very day. It's a cancer in the black community. That is one of the chief enemies Jesus Christ had when he stepped on the scene. The Romans who killed Christ, Christ didn't have as much evil to say about them as he did about those goddamn Christian preachers, man. They are a cancer in the black community. That's why we blaze on those preachers the way that Christ blazed on those preachers. You understand? They are the worst elements in the entire black community, those goddamn churches, man. If those churches were gone tomorrow, we could literally start to fix black people in a matter of weeks. Black people could get fixed, if not for these lies that these damn preachers is peddling through our veins like heroin, man. You understand? So let's get some more on that, man. we're going to switch gears a little bit. Like, the Lord does not want us to look at America as though America is something for our people. The goal for our people, you understand, learn so much. Damn right. The Lord want us to be tired of it, man. Listen, the Lord want us to be so tired of it that we wake up every day and we take this so seriously, walking in this truth and keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, that we praying for the Lord to come back and destroy this place. That's the faith and the patience of the saints, that we praying for Christ to come and destroy this place. Christians is praying that the plantation go on forever. We only get free if the plantation burns to the ground. That's what black people don't realize. You praying for the plantation to get stronger, praying for better leaders over the plantation, praying for a nicer pharaoh, praying for a nicer massa, praying, you know, I hope the next president treat black people ready. Maybe if we can get a bill passed, you understand? Like, we're supposed to be praying to the Lord to destroy this place. That's the spirit the Lord wants us to have. You understand? That's how we fix our people. That's how we build ourselves up, man. So Micah chapter 2 and verse 10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." Meaning America is not the place where we get rest. This is not home for us. This is not the place where I'll fit in here and I'll make it big here and I'll be a part of America and this is where all my dreams go. No, the Lord don't want us to try to do that. And what's so important about being in the truth is the truth is to help you fight for your brother and your sister. And that's the most important thing that the Lord always wanted, that our people did not realize. Like, the Lord is impressed with brotherhood and sisterhood. The Lord wants you to consider your brother and your sister above yourself. That's what impresses the Most High, man. All of the laws is just to teach you how not to be a monster to your brother. Hey, shalom, Lord in Christ, brother. Just make sure everybody sign in for attendance. Is sitting in state there. Like, that's what impressed the Most High. The Lord is waiting for black people to finally turn back and do what's best for your brother instead of what's best for you. That's what the Lord wants. That's what the whole law is about. You understand? That's what Christ was trying to teach us. But it's so criminal and it's so evil that the Christian church has put such an evil spirit on our people. Like, they literally put us in a mode of survival. And we live in a survival mode because of how poorly they represent the Most High. That left our lives in survival mode. Brothers and sisters are killing each other because they are afraid to get killed. One of the most important things about serving and believing in the Most High is not worrying about dying. The Bible says, "Strive for the truth unto death, then I shall fight for you." This notion and this Christian concept of trying to spare your life and live longer just to make it another day, just to survive, that is a horrible Christian slave personal salvation concept that they put that demon on our people in these damn churches. That is not biblical. One of the greatest strengths that we had as a people during the hard times that we went through was that we always knew that when we died, we would come back. And if you obeyed the life and did what the Lord required in this life, when you came back, the Lord would bring you back, in most cases, a better favorable position, as long as we turned back to the Most High and obeyed him. Like, that was the whole thing. Life became survival of the fittest because Christian preachers joined America. If we were not trying to be a part of America, all of the wealth that go into these churches, black people would all have housing. By black people, first of all, it's not difficult to house everybody. It's not difficult at all. The reason that things fall apart in these cities is because Christian preachers are busy singing songs, trying to get all the money out of everybody's pocket, instead of doing what's in the Bible, where the officers are dealing with the issues that everyone has on a day-to-day basis. Black people can't sit and live with each other. You understand? Because the Christian preachers have not taught our people how to have families. They've taught everybody to have individual salvation. And everyone's in charge. Everyone does what they want. The order that the Lord set up with the man in charge, then the woman and the children, they said that the woman can be in charge because the white man is going to give her all the money and all the grants to go to school. Then they told her she didn't need the man, and then said if he don't have a job, throw him out the house. And turned him into a drug dealer and a criminal for 20 years. Preachers did this. Preachers did this. Black men would not be selling drugs right now in any city in America if not for Christian preachers. Nowhere. Black men would not be in the street shooting each other if not for Christian preachers teaching us to love America and love the white man's Italian gangster forefather murderer lifestyle. Black men really looking for a way. They really looking for a way, trying to figure out how to be right. And because the only voice or the loudest voice that's playing is the voice of America, the voice that these preachers is teaching, that's the loudest voice that they can hear. And that tells them to go and run the streets and go and rob, go and shoot your problems away, go and rob somebody, pick up a gun to solve your problems, man. That's why this work in the I.S.U.P.K and you brothers coming in here getting in your all black is so important. And you sisters getting in the I.S.U.P.K, supporting these brothers, coming to class, paying your tithes, locking in all the way. Like, that's how we fix and rebuild our nation, man. Like, that's how we rebuild it. Everything that this society does is working to empower a women and the children. That's a guaranteed recipe to make sure that the nation never gets fixed. Like, you can't fix or strengthen a nation by putting mommy in charge and the children. Because the natural defense to structure a house, to secure resources, to secure land is that man. That's the most important thing in the house. More important than the roof, more important than the floor, the door, the garage, the refrigerator, the stove. That man is the house. Proverbs 14:1 says, every wise woman buildeth up her house. You understand? No discipline, though. That's why Commander Gen.YAHANNA instilled a school of discipline called the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. You understand? It's a school of discipline we instill all across the world, teaching our brothers and sisters how to raise ourselves back up, man. How to put on the spirit of the Lord. Like, our people are broken in this place. Our people don't know which way to turn, man. Like, that's why this is so important, man. So Micah 2:10 says, arise and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Like, the coming to the truth, to put a spirit on you to understand, like, this is not how life is supposed to be. This is not our home. This is not the place where we're supposed to get and be comfortable. And we are building a society that is completely separate from the entire culture that is around us. Separate from Christmas, separate from Mother's Day. This is how the rest operates. This is how it works. While everybody else is getting ready to go and celebrate Mother's Day, these holidays put a demand on your spirit to participate. Christianity puts a demand on your soul to go out and get those Christmas gifts, those birthday gifts, those Thanksgiving dinners and all of those things. These holidays are evil and they're against the Most High, and they drain the very soul and the spirit of our people, and they teach us to ignore the problems that we have. So what do? You don't celebrate Christmas. And what you'll find is after a certain point, your family might rise up against it a little bit at first, but once they see that you're serious, they're going to respect it eventually and back off of it. Once you stop celebrating that Mother's Day, you understand these holidays are so horrible. These holidays really kill our people, man. They really do. I remember my mother used to celebrate any woman that she ever met in her life. She would go out of her way to buy them a present for their birthday, a present for Mother's Day, a present for their anniversary. Any opportunity she could get, she would go and spend money to buy people presents. And these people did not come to see my mother. These people did not come to see her when she got sick. These people was not there to see her when she needed help. These people was nowhere in sight, not even these damn churches that she was sending money to. They were absolutely nowhere in sight at all. You understand? But the Lord did not set up life to be that way. And that's all the more reason why a sister need a man to be able to tell her no to the things that she think of. When the Christian church sets a woman up and puts her in charge over her own life, the natural covering and protection that the Lord has set up is stripped away from her. Just like imagine you got a house, and in your house is all of the beautiful and wonderful things you got, you know, your refrigerator, your comfortable things, your sofas, your TVs, all your wonderful garments, your beautiful towels, everything that you done worked, and you got this nice, wonderful, all of these things gathered in your place, but you got no roof to protect it from the wind and the rain and the elements and the snow and the storms and the wind. Like any and everything can just come through and get access to all of these wonderful things that could be such a treasure just so that they can come and spoil them at any point in time. That's what everybody does having access, you understand? That's what happens. That's why everybody is not supposed to have access to your women and your children, man. That's not normal. This whole going out and your woman all in everybody office and somewhere like that, that's captivity. Now, of course, we got to do it. We in slavery. You may work somewhere, have a different slavery, but just understand this. The Lord did not set life up to be this way. That's not normal. You understand? 1 Corinthians 11:3 says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ. Meaning the Lord got an order that's set up, that at the top of that order is Christ. And the head of the woman is the man. Meaning the man is a head of the woman. That is who the woman goes to give her report to. That is who the woman filters her entire life through her man. The first man is supposed to be her father. That father then finds another man to take over his duty and responsibility, and she builds a family with this new man or this new father. If she does not have a father, the priest of the Lord is set up and established to be in that father position until the priest can get her to a husband to now take over those responsibilities that the priest was doing. This has always been an order and a structure that the Lord said that, man. You understand? Like that's what we're working for, to rebuild our society, man. And the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is the Most High. Like that's how the Lord set it up. It's a kneeling from a sister to put her in a position to where she is facing life head on. Like that's cruel. And that's what the Christian church does. It puts a very cruel position that the Lord never intended for a woman to ever be in that position. Not from the time that she's born. A woman was never supposed to be in that position. It's laws in the Bible that the Lord even got provisions and things set up to where if your daughter has to go somewhere and work for a boss or something, that this boss got certain arrangements and things that's set up so that the daughter can get cared for, even though she is outside of the watch and the eye of the father. Like it's even in the law to have it set up this way, man. That's why it's so important that we get back to these laws, statutes, and commandments and rebuilding this society. Get in the Hebrew language class, learn the Hebrew, learn our language. Get in the law class, learn the brotherhood class. You understand? Get in there. This is how we build up our nation. And we've had to do this many times over. We've had to do it over and over again. We had to do it coming out of Egypt. We had to do it coming out of Babylon. We had to do it coming from underneath of the Philistines. We've always had to do it. But this time, and this deliverance that's coming next, when Christ returns, we won't ever have to be in captivity again. Gen.YAHANNA explained this, that the salvation that is coming for this rebuilding the Lord's kingdom this one last time We won't be in captivity anymore. Christ's going to rule. And when Christ rule, then we'll have our kingdom. There'll be no more heathen setting up shop going through our land. Right now, they preparing full-out war. In our land in Israel, they fighting, they launching rockets at each other, you understand? Russia ready to go and invade the Ukraine, which is an American ally, getting ready to start and kick off World War III. China launching missiles that they can't control, sending tons of destroyer naval vessels off the coast of Africa. All of these things is getting put into play while the Lord is preparing this World War III. You understand? All we got to do is focus on serving the Most High, keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, keep coming to class, keep building up, you understand, building up our nation. The Lord is systematically destroying these other nations around us. You understand? Their economies, the COVID, the wars, like the Lord is destroying and bringing them down. All we have to do right now is focus on keeping the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? That's what the Lord wants us to do. So let's see. Let's see where we're going to go from here. Let's go to Matthew chapter 10. All right. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 32. You understand? All right. Shalom, shalom. All right. Matthew chapter 10 and verse 32 says, whosoever shall confess me before men, him will I confess before my Father which is in heaven. Now, a confession and a profession, these are two completely different things, man. And what we do in the I.S.U.P.K, we do a confession. A confession is not just saying, like they say in church, I believe Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and yada, 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 and he died on the third day, and I'm in there. Like, that's not what that means. That's not what this is talking about. A confession is something that you make that's going to put you in jeopardy. You understand? When people go to confess, they get on the witness stand and they go and tell what they saw that happened, what they witnessed. You understand? That puts you in danger. That puts you in jeopardy. That's what a confession is. You start to say Jesus Christ is a black man that only died for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's a confession. They don't confess Jesus Christ in church. When you say Jesus Christ said that we got to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, that we cannot eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. We cannot celebrate Christmas. We cannot celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day and Thanksgiving. That you are not free to go and have sex with a woman that already has a man. That you are not free to leave your man because you're tired of hearing his mouth and you don't want to have sex with him anymore, and somebody else made you a better offer at your job. The Lord will have you gunned down at a traffic stop. If you have sex with another man, expect to get hit with straight bullets flying through the city. That's who's getting killed. You understand? The Lord will hurt you. The Lord will hurt your children. The Lord will hurt your friends. The Lord will hurt who's in the car with you. The Lord will kill your babies. You are not allowed to decide that you no longer want to be with your man and go be with some other man. The Lord will have someone shoot you. You understand? It happens all the time. Do not play with the Lord. 15, 16-year-olds happens to them all the time. You cannot go and have sex with somebody else's woman just because she decides she don't want to be with her man anymore. That's why I'm telling you, who you choose to lay down with is a very important decision. These are life and death decisions that you're making. You should come in class and learn God's rules on sex and marriage before you destroy your life. You understand? Very important lesson, extremely important lesson. Most of our people do not get a second and third chance to learn this lesson. You understand? Dying left and right behind this. In fact, most of the drug war, most of the gang beef started behind some sister having sex with multiple brothers. You understand? She had sex with some brother, and then she broke up with Pookie Loke, And then next thing you know, she at a party and Donnie Red is there. And the next thing you know, the Bloods and Crips have been shooting each other for 20 years because Kiki had sex with Smoke and Pookie Loc. And for 20 years, we've got thousands and thousands of murders and life sentences because one sister played the whore and had sex with two different men. You understand? These are things that the Lord wants us to. This is what it means to confess Christ, keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, obey the Most High. These are the things that will protect our people, that insulate us from the enemies that would come to do us harm, because they are hunting us at traffic stops. They are hunting our people. If you did not notice, if you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, understand that our oppressor is hunting us. They hunting you. They know where your neighborhood is. They know that the people in this neighborhood are poor because they know that their forefathers put yours in slavery. They know that we're getting paid the least because they know that their people distribute the wealth. They know that our families are destroyed because they have decided and dictated how we will run our families through their Christian churches and their preachers. So they know these things. They have bait that's set out. This bait that they put out is to catch a specific trap. They know what to bait us with. You understand? They're getting ready to make menthol cigarettes illegal. They got a bill passed. They're going to make the Newports illegal, the Pall Malls, the Marlboro Menthol Box 100s, the flavored cigars, the grapes, the switches, the Dutch Masters, the White Owls, the flavored vapes. They're working on legislation now to make it all illegal. Meaning before, if you thought before that the police was going to be racially profiling you before because they thought they smelled weed in the car because they legalized weed, now Black people are going to be getting stopped for smelling like Newports or grape or Black and Milds or Optimals or Games or White Owls, whatever the hell people smoking now. Like, these things are bait. They set bait to catch a specific trap. And the only reason that we fall into these traps is because the leaders that our people follow outside of Commander GEN.YAHANNA do not train our people to avoid these traps. All right. So Christ says, wherefore, Matthew 10:32, whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. Meaning this, you keep the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments down here on earth. Say, I'm not eating no pork. I'm not eating crab and shrimp. Yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes, but I quit. I don't smoke no cigarettes. I don't celebrate Mother's Day or Father's Day. Mom, I love you. I'll talk to you in 2 days. You're not going to get any cards. You're not going to get any flowers. You understand? I'm not going to the 4th of July cookout. I'm not going to the grill. If you want to eat with me, then we'll eat on the 2nd. We'll eat on the 7th. But if our oppressor says it's time to cook out and eat meat, we will not do it on his day to worship his God. We will not. No more Christmas, no Thanksgiving. We having the Passover. We having the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This is what the Lord requires. Why are you acting like that? What's wrong with you? You better than us. You didn't ate this your whole life. All of a sudden, you think you better. What is this? The Lord is saying this because this is what the Lord wants. Now, you don't have to get in no big argument with anybody. Some of you may live with people that's in the world, your aunts or your cousins or your mothers or sisters or husbands or wives, whatever. They may like pork and all of these things, man. You make sure you don't eat it. Check the ingredients on the food that you eat. Popeye's red beans and rice has pork in it. It's over. It's over. You can't eat it no more. It's gone. You make cornbread. Make sure you get the vegetarian cornbread mix. Most cornbread mix has lard if you're not making the cornbread from scratch. If you get Jiffy, get the vegetarian one. If you buy baked beans, you got to get the vegetarian baked beans. All of the other baked beans got pork in them. Most of them do. If you purchase a product that says Southern or home style. Chances are it's got pork in the seasoning. Read your ingredients. Before, when you were a Christian, you didn't care what you ate. It didn't matter if it had pork or crab. If it was good, I ate it. That was a very base, a very low nature, a very carnal nature. That was before you cared about the Most High, before you loved the Lord. The love of God is to keep his commandments, 1 John 5:3. So without knowing what God's commandments are, you had no way to love the Lord. You just did whatever you thought was right. Whatever you like to eat, you just put it in your mouth, whatever you did. Now you know that there are rules as to what you can and can't do. You have to change the way that you behave, just like we all had to. So now I have to make sure that I tailor my actions to love the Most High. So it matters now. I have to know, does this have pork in it? If you cannot tell me, if you put beans in there because you think it's a joke, and you think it's a joke that there might be pork in there, then I can't eat with you. And then they will respect it over time. Is this beef or is this turkey? They'll get tired of you asking, and either they will separate themselves from you, or they'll say, well, you know, she don't eat nothing. You don't eat nothing. You can't eat nothing with her. Good. Blessed are ye when men shall separate their company from you. That's what it says in the scriptures. This is how they will know, oh, they serve Christ. And guess what? When the white man comes to pull someone over to put their knee on their neck for 20 minutes at a traffic stop, that's when it matters that you stopped eating pork. You should have stopped eating pork before, because now it's too late. You understand? God's protection has to be earned. I never forget when GEN.YAHANNA taught me that in class. GEN.YAHANNA taught us that you have to earn God's protection. Christ said, to as many as were called, gave he power to become the sons of God. It's not automatic. In this society, we are under the curses of the Lord because for centuries, our forefathers refused to obey the Most High. Now, to get God's protection, we have to earn it by obeying him. We're going to get that, man. That's what Christ said, but whosoever shall deny me before men, meaning the Lord said, don't eat pork, don't celebrate Christmas, but you scared of your mommy. You don't want your woman to find out that you're not buying these birthday gifts. You don't want your kids to find out that you're not eating pork no more. Yeah, I know God said we can't eat pork, but, you know, it don't really matter. And I'm just trying my best. And, you know, God really knows my heart. God don't give a damn about none of that you talking about, man. The Lord is a man of war. Life is about conflict. Christ ain't come for no tambourine boys, man. The Lord want conflict. The Lord said, don't eat pork. The Lord want to see if you're going to stand with him and confess him by not eating pork, or if you're going to jump out and be weak underneath of your woman and your kids, man. It may seem like it doesn't matter until there's a video of some wicked devil hunting black men, killing black men at traffic stops, and you without the protection of the Lord, because you didn't stand with the Lord and confess him and stop eating pork and crab like the Lord commanded. You chose to be weak under your woman. You forfeited the Lord's protection. You don't have to. You better get in these classes and put your strength on. It's life and death serious. It is life and death serious. So many people, because of the Christian church, think that God is playing. Listen, black man, Hispanic, Native American, we are number one in AIDS. God is not playing. We are number one in cancer. God is not playing. We are number one with herpes. God is not playing. We are number one in prison. God is not playing. We are number one with high blood pressure. God is not playing. We are number one in murder, in poverty, in COVID, in everything horrible that you can think of. God is not playing with us. Your preachers make you think God is a joke, which is why we keep dying from everything. God is not playing. You understand? The Lord rose up his prophets to give a warning in advance about the death that he was going to send. God is not playing, man. The Lord put out a call in advance saying the evil is going to come before it comes. That's what the job of a prophet is, man. That's what Christ was saying. I wish that I could gather you all, Jerusalem, as a mother hen gathers all of her chicks in a nest. I'm paraphrasing, so that I could spare you from this destruction that's coming. Like, the Lord is not playing with our people, man. The Lord then allowed you to come into these classes so that you can understand that you're an Israelite, so that you can sit and be in these classes. Just to get in these classes is to defeat Satan. We got about 800 subscribers on this damn YouTube. It's less than 100 people in these classes, but the way that everybody crying every time somebody get gunned down or murdered in Hampton Roads on Richmond, you would swear everybody was looking for Jesus. But we come with the answers on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and every social media everywhere. And you see here in these classes, we got less than 20, 30 people that are not, there's very few people interested in getting under the protection of the Lord. That's why we keep dying in these streets. The Lord ain't playing out here, man. It's a warning from the Lord. You can earn the Lord's protection by obeying the words of the prophets that the Lord set up, man. You understand? That's what the Lord wants. Matthew 10:33 says, but whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Christ said, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. That was not Christ's mission. He said, I didn't come here to send peace. You understand? I came not to send peace, but a sword. Christ came to send division. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. He coming to destroy families, man. And a daughter against her mother-in-law. This don't mean you fighting at the dinner table. This don't mean you killing each other at the Thanksgiving cookouts and stuff. This means that God said we not doing this, and I'm not going to do it even if you do. That's what the Lord wants. Because the Lord wants you to be in his family in here. And if your mother wants to eat pork, she can be in the world with that family. The Lord wants you in here not eating crab, shrimp, and lobster so that you can live when racist white men pull you over at traffic stops. And then the rest of the brothers and sisters who want crab and pork, they'll get pulled over at the traffic stops and something horrible will happen, Lord forbid. That's what Christ is talking about. You understand? Ain't no tambourine playing behind this. This life and death. We being hunted like you see a white man hunt deer on the damn hunting channel. You understand? And it's only getting turned up. You think when the Civil War and World War and America go to war with Russia, you think they had been planning to just sweep through cities and snatch black and Hispanic kids up left and right? We already the most missing people in the entire country. You better get under the protection of the Lord and get in these classes. You understand? It said, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. This is a warning. It said your enemy is going to be in your own household because they're going to want to sin against the Lord thinking it's a damn joke. And you're going to want to stand with the Lord. You're going to want to stand with Christ. When Christ said we're not eating pork and crab and shrimp and lobster. Christ, I'm not eating crab. I'm not eating pork. I'm not celebrating Christmas. I'm not singing happy birthday. I'm not going to the Halloween party. I'm not buying Halloween presents. I'm not buying Christmas presents. Don't bring no goddamn Halloween candy for my kids. I'm not doing any of that. We're going to stand with the Lord. You understand? He that love father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. It's Christ talking. This ain't soft talk here. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Meaning if you love that look in their eyes, giving out them Christmas presents more than you love Christ being pleased that you're not celebrating Christmas, that means you love them kids more than Christ. And you'll mess around and the Lord will take them kids from you too. You understand? The Lord is not playing. Verse 38, and he that taketh not his cross. When it say his cross, it means the things that you got to suffer and deal with. Some brothers and sisters may have dealt with struggling with smoking weed. smoking cigarettes. That may be something individually that you may have to deal with that another brother or sister does not. Some brothers and sisters, they had a very bad anger problem. They get angry, they want to fight. They have a very bad drinking problem. They get drunk and want to sin and cuss and wreck the car, end up in jail. Like, you have specific things, that's why you come to class, that may be unique to you that you got a problem with. There's something that's against God's laws, you understand? For those of you who don't know, you can't just run around fighting people all the time. It's called a striker. You are not allowed to just get drunk and go fight people, walk around punching people, hitting people, all of that. You see a lot of that in the hood. You cannot do that. That's against the law. You like to run around talking to people. Oh, man, look at your shoes. Look at joning on people and stuff. That's against the law. The scriptures say, laugh no man to scorn in the bitterness of his soul. All of those evil black things that's real black in the hood, you see black people do to each other. Look at her hair. Look at her purse. Look at them shoes. Look at his hair. Oh, my God. He's so dirty. You so bummy. You so dusty. Boy, I'm about to fire you up. Look at your man. Those things turn our people into animals. They make our people hate each other. They make someone shoot you 20 years from now because you've been teasing them since they was in 5th grade. Most of the homicides is done by people that you've known your entire life in the black community. The Bible says not to do these things. Just imagine how many lives, how many brothers is in jail for killing some bully that teased them as a kid. When the Christian church could have taught us the laws that God had, we would have never treated each other like animals like this. While they sing those stupid choir songs and tell us to celebrate these holidays while we die and suffer. You understand? But this is what he said, and taketh not his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. Verse 39 says, he that findeth his life shall lose it. You trying to fit in America and find your life, your place in the world? The Lord said this place is corrupt and it'll destroy you. And he that loseth his life for my sake, he shall find it. Meaning you turn to serve the Most High, you get in these classes, you follow what you're being taught in these I.S.U.P.K classes, the Lord said you're going to find your life. Black brothers and sisters, Hispanics, Native Americans trying to find their life all over America, trying to find it at a job, trying to find it at a college, trying to find it in the LGBT, trying to find it in getting money, trying to find it in weed and pills and Percocets in the streets and the NFL and NBA, looking everywhere trying to find what life should be for them. And it's because with lies, the Christian church has made the heart of the righteous sad. They've driven us everywhere and have not visited us. They've not given us the message of the Lord that we are supposed to be building a society, an entirely separate world where we can insulate ourselves and deal with all of the problems that we have to make the next generations better. That's the goal. You got to fight for the future generations, man. We're in the middle of a war. It's a battle, man. That's what they're not telling us. Of course, you learning here in the I.S.U.P.K that life is about warfare because you are where the prophets of the Lord are that God commanded you to be under Commander Gen.YAHANNA. But 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober, be vigilant, have your mind set, have your sobriety about your mind so you can understand what's going on. So much of our people's minds is in silliness. You understand? Some competition, some sporting event, just wrapped up in whatever holiday is next, you know, just trying to pay bills and make ends meet and stuff like that. When the Lord hurt America with this COVID, America was forced to treat us more humanely, if for no other reason than the benefit of white people. The stimulus money went up, this money went up, the relief money went up, the this went up, the that went up. It wasn't because America was finally deciding to treat us right. It was because our oppressor was being hurt, and by default, he had no choice but to treat our people better. White people were forced to live like black people for a few months, and they set America on fire all across the country. The Lord wants you to be paying attention. The more hell he bring on our oppressor, the more he sit down and destroy America more and more, the better our society is going to get. All we got to do is turn back to the Lord, keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. It may be difficult for a time, but you will find more rest for your spirit. Years without Christmas, years without cigarettes, years without weed, years without pork, years without Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of these things. You don't realize how many demons is just being piled on top of our people because we are filled with Christianity. All of this trying to die and go to heaven, none of that nonsense is real. You're not going to die and live in some sandcastle in the sky. Everybody, you know, grandma and your aunts is all there. That just puts a tons of demons on our people. That's not real. You obey the Most High, you keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, the Lord will protect you. You understand? All right. So 1 Peter 5:8 says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is our enemy. Whether you want to like it, whether you want to believe it, whether you think it's true, whether you think Becky, who works at your job, you love her rosy cheeks, you love her red hair, you like her nasally accent, you understand, however you feel personally has nothing to do with what's in the Bible. Your personal feelings between any white man or woman or Asian or Arab, that is absolutely irrelevant. You don't go attacking or harassing or beating anybody up because of their race. Anything like all of that is silly, emotional Christian nonsense that has nothing to do with the Bible. The Lord said, be vigilant, because your adversary, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he can devour. He's looking for an opportunity to devour our people. He's looking for an opportunity. You understand? It's not by accident, but by us keeping the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments, you'll have a level of protection over you to where he won't be able to devour you. You understand? Psalms 10 and verse 8 says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He's looking to catch the poor because the poor are defenseless. The poor are fatherless. The poor don't have the resources. The poor don't have the proper knowledge, and there's no one looking to defend the poor. That's the job of the men of the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K, to defend the widow, the infant, the poor, and fatherless. That's what the scriptures are talking about, to seal up the breaches. You understand? That's what the I.S.U.P.K is for. You understand? He doth catch the poor when he draw him into his net. You understand? That's what the net is. That's what the drugs is about. That's what everything, all of these traps, the voting, the integration, you understand, the politics. Politics is a game that snakes play with mice. And blacks and Hispanics are all in America's politics, not realizing that they are really playing a game with snakes. Like, America has no interest in doing what's best for blacks and Hispanics. They in there trying to get politics going while they working to pass homosexual bills, while black people and Hispanics die of AIDS from being homosexuals, because they're loyal to America, not loyal to God's chosen people for what's best, man. All right. But you come back, you keep the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. The Lord said that he would protect us, man. I'm going to give one last scripture here. All right. Enemy unto. All right. Should be enemy. Bear with me just a moment. There we go. In his last for Exodus chapter 23 and verse 22, it says, but Remember, if, ands, or but, those are some of the most important words in the entire scriptures. It says, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies. Meaning that same oppressor that's hunting us, that's hunting in traffic stops, that's looking in the lurking place of the villages, that's killing and snatching up brothers and sisters and doing all kind of evil. The Lord said, if we do not eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, if we stop getting high, if we stop celebrating Mother's Day and Father's Day, if we stop celebrating Christmas, if we stop voting, if we turn back and start to make our lives about what the Lord wants us to do, the Lord said, I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversary. You understand? The Lord said, I will be an enemy to those that would seek to hurt you, and I would to those enemies that are hunting our people if we turn back. All right. All right. It was one last scripture. Gave he power. Bear with me just a moment to become. There we go. 1 John. All right. Because this is what Christ wants us to realize. Christ came for Israel. All 12 tribes, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And when he came, Israel did not accept Israel did not accept him. The tribes did not accept Christ. They did not accept him. As a matter of fact, eventually the religious leaders riled up and went to the white Romans to get him crucified. Even though he was healing people, healing the sick, raising the dead, doing all kinds of things. You understand? 1 John chapter 1 and 10 says, he was in the world, meaning he was in the society, healing, doing everything. And the world was made by him. He framed the society based on keeping the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. And the world knew him not, meaning they didn't understand him. They didn't understand Christ. The disciples didn't understand Christ, but he was there. Verse 11, John 1 and 11 says, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. He came to the Jews. You understand? But as many as received him, it's very important. You're going to receive Christ? To them gave he power to become the sons of God. Meaning this is not automatic. The power that he gave was he taught them how to obey the Most High. And that's the power that you are learning to become sons and daughters of the Most High. You understand? It's not good enough that you are an Israelite. You being black, Hispanic, or Native American, that's enough to qualify you to become. But he gave power, meaning there's a next step that you have to do to earn the protection from the Most High. You understand? By obeying Christ. It says, gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. And to them that believe on his name, that's his reputation. The way that he said to live, how he laid down the rules, the laws, how he obeyed the Most High, the way that he lived his life, following the order that he set up with his disciples. That is the same order that the Lord instructed Moses to set up, Deuteronomy, the 1st chapter. The same captains and generals and officers that you see, we're still maintaining the order that the Lord laid down from the very beginning in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. All right. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Y'all make sure y'all pay y'all tithes. Y'all clap it up. Other y'all coming out there. All right. We at the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We started out at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. You understand? No one else ties a commandment from the Most High. You pay 10% of every penny of any increase that the Most High gives you. You can go right to I.S.U.P.K.com, select tithes and donations, pay your 10%, build up your nation. You understand? Build up your society. This is how we do it, going city to city, state to state, raising up our people so that we can fix our people everywhere we are, so that we can stop being oppressed and killed by our oppressors and the people that is hunting us or that are hunting us. All right. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, it'll wear all black, black boots, shirt, pants, headband, war scarf, contact the school. You understand? Brothers and sisters, y'all keep coming to class. Y'all stay in there, keep y'all spirits up. Y'all make sure y'all obey the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Next class we got coming up, tune in tomorrow. You understand, Gen.YAHANNA be there with the scripture breakdown, Cross the Line Radio as well. The next time we broadcast from the Virginia pages will be Friday for our Hebrew language class. All right. And with that, I give Yahweh Shimmy Abishai thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal a thumb by Shimmy Abishai to the sisters. Shalom.